Greetings from South Korea. I am Arirang News AI anchor. Here is the news making headlines today. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a sudden shift in military plans against Tehran on Monday, saying that talks between the U.S. and Iran have seen progress. While Iran denied that discussions had taken place, President Trump ordered a 5-day postponement of threatened attacks targeting Iranian energy infrastructure. Trump had given Iran 48 hours to reopen the Strait of Hormuz or face attacks on its power plants, but has shifted his stance as that deadline approaches. Tehran, however, remains firm that Trump's claims are fake news, with officials accusing Washington of fabricating the talks to buy time. The Iranian military also dismissed Western intelligence reports about the deployment of explosives in regional waterways and reaffirmed its control of the Strait of Hormuz. President Lee Jae-myung has called on his officials to establish an emergency response system to deal with the fallout from the war in the Middle East. During Tuesday's cabinet meeting, he said that the government will update the fuel price cap rule and announce it later this week. The president also vowed to strongly punish any attempts of price collusion, adding that the prosecution has launched investigations into oil refiners. Lee also urged for a reduction in private vehicle use on workdays and said that public institutions will adopt a system limiting use based on the last digit of license plate numbers. The cabinet today approved 2 bills aimed at stripping prosecutors of their investigative powers. The bills stipulate creating 2 new agencies, one that will exclusively handle investigations under the Interior Ministry, and the other in charge of indictments under the Justice Ministry. The investigation agency will look into 6 major crimes, including corruption and those related to the economy or drugs. The current prosecutor's office will be abolished in October, the first major change in 78 years, following decades of debate over readjusting the prosecution's powers. The legislation was led by the ruling Democratic Party amid objections from the main opposition People Power Party. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has formally labeled South Korea the most hostile state and warned of merciless consequences if Pyongyang is provoked. According to the Korean Central News Agency on Tuesday, Kim made the remarks on the final day of the first session of the Supreme People's Assembly, declaring that Seoul has now been officially designated as North Korea's principal adversary. He warned that South Korea would pay the price for any provocation and reaffirmed that North Korea's status as a nuclear weapons state will never change, vowing continued efforts to confront what he described as hostile forces. Historical drama The King's Warden has topped Korea's all-time box office revenue. As of Monday, the movie had made a total of 142.5 billion won or $94.6 million. The film attracted over 800,000 moviegoers nationwide over the weekend, holding on to the #1 spot for 7 consecutive weeks, and bringing its total admissions to 14.75 million viewers. It now ranks 3rd on Korea's box office chart behind the Emerald Roaring Currents and Extreme Job. The King's Warden is the first 10 million viewer hit for director Jang Hang-jun. It tells the story of the exile of the young King Danjong during the Joseon dynasty. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching.